I didn't cry when it ended. I noticed that first, and then I hated myself for noticing it. Everyone else reacted the way you're supposed to. There were long pauses on the phone, soft voices, people saying, "Are you okay?" Like the words themselves were fragile. I kept answering yes automatically, even though I hadn't checked. My chest felt empty, not hollow, just clear, like a room after furniture has been moved out. When I hung up the call, I stood near the window for a moment. The glass was cool against my forehead. Outside, a rickshaw passed, music crackling through bad speakers, and for some reason, I took a deep breath, one of those full breaths that reach your stomach. It surprised me. My shoulders dropped, as if they'd been waiting for permission. This wasn't how it was supposed to feel. We had been together for 3 years, long enough that people had started speaking in when instead of if, long enough that my name and his were said in the same sentence without explanation, long enough that ending it should have felt like losing a limb. But instead, my body felt lighter. Not happy, just less heavy. The memories didn't hurt the way I expected them to. They came like old photographs, faded at the edges. I remembered the way I used to check my phone before sleeping, then again the moment I woke up. I remembered rehearsing sentences in my head so they wouldn't start an argument. I remembered how quiet I'd become without realizing it, how my laughter had turned careful. None of that made me cry. What made me uncomfortable was the relief. It sat in my chest, warm and steady, refusing to leave. I tried to force sadness. I played the songs we used to listen to. I scrolled through old pictures until my thumb slowed, waiting for the sting. My eyes stayed dry, my breathing stayed calm. At one point, I even smiled, and quickly wiped it off my face, alone in my room, as if someone might catch me. That night, I slept without waking up once. In the days that followed, people watched me closely. I could feel it in the way their eyes lingered on my face, as if grief might suddenly appear like a delayed reaction. I spoke softly, nodded at the right moments, said, "It's hard," because it was easier than explaining the truth. The truth was, I could finally breathe. I noticed it in small ways. I ate without feeling rushed. I sat through an entire conversation without checking my phone. I chose clothes without wondering what he'd think. Once, while walking home, I realized my jaw wasn't clenched. It felt strange, like discovering a muscle I hadn't relaxed in years. And still, guilt followed me everywhere. At night, it whispered that I must not have loved him enough, that something was wrong with me, that relief meant I was cruel. I lay awake once, staring at the ceiling fan, counting its rotations, trying to summon tears like proof of decency. They never came. Weeks later, I ran into someone who hadn't heard yet. They said his name casually, smiled, asked how he was. For a second, my heart skipped. Not from pain, but from habit. I told them the truth. Their face changed. They reached for my hand. "I'm so sorry," they said. And there it was again. That pause. That expectation. I waited. Nothing broke inside me. What I felt instead was a quiet certainty, settling deep in my chest. Some endings are sad not because they hurt, but because they reveal how long you were already gone. I didn't cry when it ended, but for the first time in years,